Alrighty, there's a ton of stuff that I wanted to talk about today. Everything from the Brazilian election to Biden potentially being thrown out of the White House after the midterms, the media. It seems like there's some coordinated attack on Biden. To Kyrie Irving, to hell, when I woke up this morning, I really wanted to do a review of Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers, which I think is a brilliantly underrated film. And you know what? I think I'm going to start out talking about Kyrie Irving. I'm probably not going to get to a movie review. If I did that, I think it would be almost be an entire series retrospective. I'd have to put that film in context, and I don't do movie reviews. So they'd probably not going to end up on this channel. But I'm going to try and do Kyrie Irving, Brazil, and Biden. Let's see if we can get to it. So Kyrie Irving, I think, is an American hero. He is one of the bravest individuals in this country. And I don't say that because what he's doing is particularly, amazing in terms of human history. But in modern America, we are a society of cowards. We are a society of people who follow the trends, who are programmed by the media, who have no beliefs of their own, and who will cut to the demands of special interest groups, if their employer is sent a letter. I mean, that is the cancel culture we live in. And Kyrie Irving has refused to be canceled. He doesn't care. The media and the liberal left, not really the far left, but the liberal left, is demanding that Kyrie Irving shut up and dribble. They don't like that he has beliefs different from their own. And Kyrie Irving, it's not like he's come out as like, oh, I'm a Trump guy and that's why they hate him. No, he has some weird fringe beliefs which don't affect how he plays basketball. I mean, that is why he's famous. That's why he gets paid money. He gets paid money to play basketball. What he believes in his own time is his business and doesn't affect his job. But the thing is that the media and liberalism want to control your mind. It's not good enough for you to do your job and do it well. You have to accept whatever garbage they force feed you, and you have to like it. You have to smile, and you have to say, yes, Daddy, you're correct, and I was wrong. But of course, as soon as you apologize, that's when they smell blood in the water, and they move in for the kill. I don't even remember what Kyrie Irving's first discretion was. Was it that he didn't get vaccinated? Might have been that. I think that was the beginning of it. He didn't want to get vaccinated because he was watching athletes around the world drop dead from heart problems. And, I don't want to go into any further detail because YouTube is still kind of sketchy when it comes to talking about jabs. But I think you understand Kyrie's concerns, whether you agree with them or not. The man's a professional athlete. His body is his... it's how he makes his living. So he made his own decision for his physical health. And the media savaged him for it. They wanted him ruined, destroyed, but at the end of the day, he is still, from what I understand, one of the top elite basketball players alive today. His second transgression against the Blob, against the Wizards of Smart, against the established order, the Overton window, whatever you want to call it, was that he merely, I think it was on Instagram, posted an old clip of Alex Jones from the 90s. And in the clip, Jones said something, relatively banal, just that I think it was something about how, there are powerful people, powerful interests that control our society and have great influence over our daily lives. I don't think it was even about anyone in particular. I don't think it was Alex Jones talking about the Trilateral Commission is poisoning your breakfast cereal. I don't think the clip was anything like that from what I remember. This was months ago. I think it was just him talking about, hey, there are rich and powerful people, and they use that power, and you should be aware of that. Pretty good common sense message, I think, coming from Mr. Jones, again, way back in the 90s. And this restarted the media firestorm around Kyrie Irving, made it worse than ever. And he had a press conference where he was just pestered about this. And the media were demanding that he condemn Alex Jones, that he come out and say, I'm sorry, I should have never tweeted that, and that Alex Jones is the worst person who's ever lived, and I completely denounce anything he's ever said, no matter how, banal or commonsensical or just, if Alex Jones said he likes puppies, well, I hate puppies. Puppies are terrible. That's what they wanted Kyrie Irving to say. They wanted him to get down on his knees and beg. And he didn't. He refused. He said, you know what? I'm a basketball player, but I'm also a person. I have, an Instagram account. I'm going to post whatever I want on there because it's mine. And the media were demanding this. Oh my gosh, but your platform, your prestige, you're elevating Alex Jones. Don't you have any remorse? Don't you feel bad about that? Don't you think you have a responsibility to the fans to not lead them astray? And he had a very simple retort. He said, was anything in that clip incorrect? And obviously the answer is no. It was not a clip where Alex Jones said anything crazy or deranged. He wasn't talking about atrazine turning the frogs gay. The media simply, the media simply suffers from AJ derangement syndrome. And they've now projected that onto Kyrie Irving. To them, Kyrie Irving now is Alex Jones. And they are completely deranged when it comes to this man. They cannot tolerate his existence any longer, which is why he's been suspended from the Nets. The cathedral, the media blob, the liberal left elite establishment, that whole thought bubble, that very small percentage of the population, they have decided that Kyrie Irving doesn't have a right to exist. It's that simple. If you don't agree with them, you don't have a right to exist. How else can you interpret it? What are they going to, oh, well, we think he should have a right to exist, just not, what, he's not allowed to play basketball? What kind of arbitrary punishment is that? Just be honest. You want the man to disappear. You want him effectively dead. All they want are a bunch of basketball players who, when it's Black Lives Matter time, they wear their Black Lives Matter shirt. When it's Stand With Ukraine time, they wear their Stand With Ukraine shirt, and they talk about how much they love the Azov Battalion. And then soon, the 2024 election cycle will be started, and it'll be hate Trump time, and they want all the athletes to come out and say, Orange Man bad. And you're just supposed to go along with whatever, what Steve Deace, excellent host, if you folks are not familiar with him, he's really grown on me a lot in the last couple of years, and well, I think he's grown as anyway, it's not a review of talk radio host, but anyway, he has a phrase that he likes to use called the spirit of the age, and that's exactly what Kyrie Irving is battling right now. It's what you might call the zeitgeist, but not the zeitgeist of ordinary people. It's the zeitgeist of your entrenched liberal media class, the midwits, if you will. There's many names for these people. There's many terms that all refer essentially to the same idea, midwits, the spirit of the age. Because these are not truly elite people. These are people who bow to the elites. That's a better way of looking at it. It's not like, Bill Gates is getting in Kyrie Irving's face and demanding that he apologize. Bill Gates is above that. He has lackeys for that in the media. And I don't mean to say that Bill Gates is some global mastermind. No, I just was using him as an example of someone who is actually a part of the elite. These no-name journalists who are castigating Kyrie Irving are begging for attention from the elites. They want a pat on the head. They want to be told that they're good boys and girls. And they do that by juxtaposing themselves against an evil element such as Kyrie Irving. And so now I saw the latest interaction between Kyrie Irving, the now suspended Brooklyn Nets player, and the media. Now they're mad that I think he tweeted out a link to the website for some documentary I think it was called, was it, gosh, what was it, Hebrews to Slaves or something like that? Or was it Hebrews to Negroes? It was something like that. I think it was Hebrews 2, the number 2, and then another word. And based on the title, I assume that it's some kind of Black Israelite documentary. And for those of you not familiar, Black Hebrew Israelites, there's a lot. They're based in New York City, I think. These are black people, usually black men, or I'm sure there are black women involved in it too, but I normally see black men who believe that, I don't know if it's all black people or just like African Americans or what. I'm not entirely certain with how their theology goes, but the basic idea is that black people are descendants of the original Israelites, and that the what are thought of as what we today call Jews, people like Joy Behar, Richard Dreyfuss, what's another good example? Harvey Weinstein. These people are not descended from the original Israelites, the original Hebrews. They are, I assume that the Israelites would just, refer to them as converts. And so the Black Hebrew Israelites insist that they are the true Hebrew bloodline, and that I guess they have, what Jewish people, consider to be like their blood rights and all these things to, presumably, the nation of Israel and all this. Those ties actually are much stronger to black people than they are to white Jews. And another thing that they cite a lot is that, the slaves that built the pyramids were black. This is something that Ice Cube has brought up before. So this is a fringe set of beliefs. There's not a ton of people that believe it. It is fringe even amongst, black Americans who they themselves only make up about 13% of the population. So it is a minority of a minority that believes this. And to my knowledge, I don't think they've ever really done much to hurt people. They just kind of shout on the streets and on the subway platforms in New York City. That's my understanding of them. They are a religious sect that, likes to proselytize and spread their message. And Kyrie Irving, I guess, is at least intrigued by their message. He does live in New York. I'm sure he's encountered these people before out on the streets. And, maybe he took a pamphlet from them, or one of these street preachers, had a few minutes to talk to him, and he liked their message. Now, it's not something that I believe. I guess I'll make that clear. I don't think anyone would suspect me of being a Black Hebrew Israelite, but there's an official confirmation for you I am not. But groups, as you might imagine, like the ADL, are obsessed with people like Black Hebrew Israelites and hate them, and do think that they should be exterminated. They want them completely run out of society. So I do see why the media would blow up at Kyrie Irving, even though it's not really rational. I mean, if you just didn't talk about it and you let him kind of go on believing whatever he wants, it wouldn't affect anybody. And frankly, most people probably wouldn't hear about it, because it's not something that he seems to talk about a lot. He posted a link to a documentary once. It's not like, Kyrie Irving comes out of every game, and does a press conference talking about how he thinks that black people are the real Jews. He doesn't do that. They asked him about it, and, he was asked if he's anti-Semitic, because, of course, that's always what they jump to. Now, I don't know if you could, I don't know enough about the Black Hebrew Israelites and their specific doctrine to know if it's something that you could say is an inherently anti-Semitic belief system. But when the media calls someone anti-Semitic, they just mean that you're not in line with the ADL, that you have disobeyed the ADL. Because the ADL is, in the United States, even though it's not a religious organization, it is essentially the Vatican of Judaism. And anyone who disobeys the ADL is a heretic. So that's what they're accusing Kyrie Irving of. The Black Hebrew Israelite idea about Judaism does not line up with the official narrative that is promoted by the Anti-Defamation League. And so therefore he is a heretic and must be condemned. He must repent for his sins, and even then he probably will not be let back into polite society. And Kyrie Irving understands this, which I respect him for. And so he's standing his ground, even though it's, he's standing his ground on an issue that I don't really agree with him on. But who cares? It doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect his ability to play basketball. It doesn't affect our politics or anything. It's just a personal belief about history and bloodlines and nationalities and these things. So when asked if he's an anti-Semite, Kyrie Irving responded that he cannot be an anti-Semite because he knows his roots or something like that, and he repeated it. He had the same line. He had it planned out, and so he seems like a pretty intelligent guy to me as far as handling the media. He has a high media intelligence. He understands that these people are out to get him, that they're not asking honest questions, and so he's prepared for that. And this is the second occasion now that I've seen him handle the media very well. Now the question is, since he is standing his ground, if he is, I'm not exactly sure how it works. I don't know if they would just fire him or if he would get traded like in other sports. I assume they do trades in the NBA. I know nothing about basketball, just so you know. Who knows? Maybe they'll just, fire him, take him off the team, and have to pay him the rest of his contract. But at the rate it's going, he's not repenting, and I'm sure that the Nets... Who owns the Nets? Didn't Jay-Z buy the Nets for a while? I don't think he still owns it. Or maybe he did it with money from other people. Maybe he organized it. I should look into that. I don't think he does anymore. I don't remember Jay-Z's name coming up in this story. I briefly saw who the owner of the Nets was, and I didn't commit the name to memory. Wasn't really that interested at the time. Wait, he does play for the Nets and not the Knicks, right? Gosh, I'm going to sound like such an idiot if I was saying Nets throughout this whole video and he actually plays for the Knicks, but I'm pretty sure it's the Nets. Who knows? Maybe it'll all blow over like it did for Aaron Rodgers. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is back, and he went through a similar phase where the media were trying to cancel him. Terry Bradshaw went on a tirade, absolutely deranged, talking about how vaccines are safe and effective and ivermectin is a cow dewormer. I remember one day that whole Fox panel was just, they were just condemning in the strongest terms Aaron Rodgers and everything he's ever stood for. And then all of a sudden, it seemed like the story faded away. Now, the NFL, for all its faults, still has a more normal American culture than the NBA, which the NBA is, 100% pretty much in terms of fans and the organizations, the players. It's a much more, I don't want to say left-wing. It's not left-wing. It's more liberal. But you do still get some NBA players who can stray out of that into a more creative, independent outgrowth of the left-wing culture of this country. So, with that said, I will see you folks back here tomorrow.